Good evening, my friends. This is VJ Franz K, and I'm taking a look at the Roland T8 beat machine. It is one of their series of mini AIRA music machines. It's interesting that they call it a beat machine rather than a drum machine, but that is, new terminology for these days, and comes in a color-coded package. All of the bases of these machines are color-coded. So the T8 is a miniature AIRA version of a TR-808 drum machine, or you could compare it also to the 606 or 909. They've got a lot of different XOX. It occurred to me that the word AIRA might reference air. It's light as air, and really they are. They are the most portable, well, not the very most portable, because there are even smaller ones out there, machines and stuff, but this is right at the edge of where size and usability, it's kind of at the edge. It's like if it's much smaller, it starts to become harder to use, and already I do have some issues with how small they are, because it is kind of hard to use them, and I would want more dedicated buttons on these units rather than having to use the shift and then these lower functions for, in some cases, important functions like write. So I'm going to plug it right into the camera here and use the mix out. Here it is. There. And then, see, I'll go to a pattern. We'll go to pattern, see, pattern bank D, and we go to 16. So there it is, starting a blank pattern, and then it's got the drums. I need to get my headphones to make sure that it is working. I can't hear anything, but we have bass drum, we have the snare drum, we have the tom or hand clap. It's a single control that is shared by them here. And here's the closed hi-hat and the open, which are two sides of the same thing, basically. But then we have this nice bass line. See, is it coming through? Oh, of course it's not coming through because I didn't turn up the volume there, but now the volume is within range. You're hearing the synthesizer tone, and it is the classic sound of a TB-303 bassline, which of course is often paired with these other machines. In terms of all of it goes together and making a classic acid house track or minimalist techno, or a variety of different styles have used these over the years, and it's still expanding, and you have adjustability here. I'm going to get my headphones. everything that you hear. And so let's continue. So one thing that I really like about this particular design is that you have the level knobs right here. So I can turn up the synthesizer bass line if I want. I can turn up the kick drum. There it is. Let's see. So what I really want to do is do a pattern clear. So hold shift and then I'll hit pattern clear down here. Beep, and there it is, clear all. And now completely blank pattern for me to start with. So put down some kick drums. It is the classic, this one is modeled after a 909 kick actually, and that I'm glad for because 909 is my favorite style of kick from Roland rather than the 808. So I can do the tune. Oh wait, I see. So if I press the decay button, so this is tuning down or up, and of course we are limited to the tuning on a classic 909 kick drum, I guess, and you know that is good. It's an absolute classic, but I would prefer to have a wider range of tuning actually than, you know, go beyond the classic idea of what it should be, and instead, yeah, give us more range, you know what I mean? And see, so if I press this button, then this knob becomes the decay. So we can do a super short kick drum, even though I'd want even shorter than that, you know? Or a super long decay there. You can hear that extra bass sort of ringing out like that. So let's see, more towards the middle. So there it is, bass drum up or down, level, quiet or loud. I tend to have these near the top usually for most of my sequence, but you don't have to do that. It's a solid bass drum, it's a super classic, but wow, you know, like, this is a digital machine, so we should have more different kicks available. It's like with an analog machine, you have a reason why it is limited in sound. But when you're dealing with a digital machine, you can expand it just by expanding the code. You can expand it just by having samples in ROM or samples in RAM. You know, it's possible. There should be samples, there should be. So it's like what is here is very good, but then there should be a lot more. Anyway, but so here is once again getting a very short sort of snare drum there. Turning up, let's see, and then adjusting the decay. Adjusting the tune a little bit. Like I said, I would prefer more extreme adjustment. Wonder if I hold shift. Anyway, whatever. So there it is. And of course you could do. Actually, let's try that. Can I do a motion sequence here? Adjusting the decay. Okay, well I guess it didn't record that, but let's see. Record. Okay, yes, well I guess it doesn't include that feature, but you can always enjoy mixing it around. But it's great to have these dedicated mixing knobs right at the top. That is good design. Just it's straightforward. You always know what these are going to be. And then I'm a fan of the hand clap sound. So yes, very crisp, very nice there. There's no snappy adjustment on the snare drum, for example. Even though I wonder, like, if you hold shift and snare drum or something, can I change it some other way? Shift, snare drum. Guess not. Alright, let's see. Oh, did I mute? I muted the snare drum. That's what it does. So holding the shift and pressing these temporarily mutes that drum. Got it. So if it's hand clap, if the hand clap is selected, you're editing the hand clap. And you can do these high or low ones. And I guess we have the delay is active here. You know, and we don't need so many snare drums. Too many snare drums, right? Just some. Turn down the delay also. So that's a nice sounding pattern. Closed hi-hats. So you can control the decay of the closed hi-hats and then the decay of the open hi-hats. So, you know, alternate between open and closed hi-hats. Get a nice pattern. Does the decay do anything for the open hi-hat? Maybe a little sonic variation. But with the closed hi-hats, and it's like, it would be great to have pitch control over the hi-hats, as well as to have a few different hi-hats to choose from. It's like super classic sounds, but yes, too few. The sonic range is too narrow. Of course, you can get super creative on it, but so then see, lower these down. Very convenient. You can get colorful knob caps to help you remember what is what. So here is bass notes, beeps, right? They're in place, so you could sequence them, but just kind of like a 303, except an actual 303 it's harder to record than this, but let's see, keyboard. So with keyboard, you're playing the notes. Let's see, there's probably a way to shift the, octave plus or octave minus. There we go. Get a nice bass note there. Turn it way up, open the cutoff. There's that classic sound. Maybe turn down the delay a bit. Adjust the decay. I can remember when I was learning to use software synthesizers and I didn't even understand what the various knobs did. I just messed around with the controls until it sounded like something I liked, and that can be a great way to, so just get a pattern. So there it is, very simple pattern. How much resonance do you want? It's like the 303 is famous for the really weird sort of sparkling resonance on there, and the weird things you can do with the envelope mod there. And normally you would use your octaves to see. So if I do this, so right, the octaves are separate. These octave controls are separate. You can also add slide survive on beats alone. You need some water and food, which I've got to get, but just wanted to do this quick look. And it's like, if I think it's so limited, why did I buy this? And the answer is because I've liked playing the other AIRAs recently, and this fits in perfectly with them. So it's going to be a nice set of the three of them interacting, the three of them, three of them interacting, and then let's see. So what else can we do with the patterns here? It's like, it is really a new neoclassical sort of design here. Turn down the tempo, slow it down. I usually prefer slower tempos. You can hear the delay doing its thing there. Slowing way down. Speeding up, going back to 80 beats. This is an okay average pattern, but we have the randomized too, so let's find out how that works. Pretty obvious, just hold the shift, randomize. Randomized out the rhythm pattern there. If you're daring, you can do this. Oh, let's see, and it did substeps on that, so I've got to see how to do substeps. And then if I do shift and step loop here, wait a minute. Wait. Shift pattern. I love using step loop to sort of chop up the pattern. That's nice. Unfortunately, this doesn't turn up the pattern of the speed of the step loop. I wish it did that, but it's just changing the tempo here. Then I can also randomize the bass.